I had the news yesterday, the Justice Department announcing that they had seized $3.6 billion worth of Bitcoin related to a hack that dates back to 2016 of the Bitfinex platform.
A case like Bitfinex, that's quite extensive because of the many layers of essentially laundering.
People are going to spend hundreds of millions of dollars to get their hands on that pot of gold.
I do think it's going to be a fight.
I can imagine that in the future there will be movies about it.
Imagine waking up and discovering that billions of dollars have vanished. No explosions, no armed robbery, no getaway cars. Just lines of computer code and one of the biggest financial mysteries of the digital age. For years, nobody knew who had done it. The money never truly disappeared. It simply waited. Then one day, everything changed. To understand this mystery, you first need to understand Bitcoin.
You confiscate a few $1 billion out of private bank accounts and you print a couple $1 trillion, and all of a sudden, you know what happens? People start to worry. So out of this worry, we have something called the Bitcoin.
When Bitcoin launched in 2009, almost nobody believed it would matter. Some people called it fake money. Others called it the future. Years later, it would become one of the world's most valuable digital assets. Unlike cash, Bitcoin doesn't live inside a bank. It exists on a public ledger known as blockchain. Every transaction is permanently recorded. Anyone can see where coins move, but knowing who controls a wallet is a completely different challenge. This transparency would become one of the greatest trends and one of the biggest surprises for the criminals in this story. On 2nd August 2016, something extraordinary happened.
The department has charged Ilya Lichtenstein and Heather Morgan for their alleged roles in a conspiracy to launder stolen cryptocurrency taken during the 2016 hack of a virtual currency exchange. That hack resulted in the theft of almost 120,000 Bitcoin, which at the time was worth approximately $71 million. Today, the value of that Bitcoin has grown to over $4.5 billion.
The cryptocurrency exchange Bitfinex detected unauthorized withdrawals. Around 120,000 Bitcoin left customer accounts. At the time, the amount was worth tens of millions of dollars. But as Bitcoin's value later surged, those same holdings would eventually be worth billions. Within hours, panic spread throughout the cryptocurrency world. Bitcoin's price dropped. Customer demanded answers. Nobody knew who was responsible. The thieves have pulled off something almost unimaginable. But they have another problem. Unlike physical cash, Bitcoin leaves a trail. Investigators could not immediately identify the person behind the wallets. They could observe the movement of funds across the blockchain. The investigation did not end after a week or a month. It continued for years. Every movement of the stolen cryptocurrency became another clue for investigators to examine. Imagine trying to solve a puzzle where every piece is visible, but none of them have names. Then something unexpected happened. As Bitcoin became more valuable, the stolen coin became dramatically more valuable too. What began as a massive theft grew into one of the largest known cryptocurrency fortunes connected to a crime. Around the world, people wondered the same thing. Where was the money? Had the thieves disappeared forever, or were they hiding in plain sight? Investigators from multiple agencies continued following leads. Rather than a fast-moving chase, the case became a patient, years-long efforts to connect digital evidence with real-world identities. Some crimes are solved in hours, others take decades. This one demanded persistence. Every new clue brought another question. The wallets remained visible, the mystery remained unsolved. Then investigators noticed something that they had not seen before. It was small, almost invisible, but it would eventually lead them towards two people whose public lives looked nothing like what anyone expected.
One expected it to be this couple, a tech entrepreneur named Dutch with ties to Mark Cuban, and his wife, a woman named Heather Morgan, who liked to rap.
Hit and run by golf cart, poison you with a frog, dart shit on you like a fart.
If you can call it that. As these two thieves sat on their stolen loot, letting their friends, family, employees, and social media followers believe everything was normal, Behind the scenes, federal investigators would say their lives looked like something ripped out of the pages of a spy novel.
For years, the world's biggest Bitcoin mystery refused to die. 120,000 Bitcoin had vanished. The blockchain recorded every movement, but nobody knows who controlled the wallets. Until investigators noticed something that did not fit. Most criminals want one thing, money they can actually use. But Bitcoin creates a problem. You can move it, but turning it into ordinary money without revealing your identity can attract attention. Investigators kept watching. Days become months, months become years. The trail never completely disappeared. Many people assumed the thieves have escaped forever. But investigators were not chasing a car. They were following digital evidence. This was not just one agency. It became an international financial investigation involving digital forensics and traditional detective work. Every transfer, every account, every clue was carefully examined. Rather than relying on a single breakthrough, investigators gradually assembled a larger picture from many small pieces of evidence. And something unexpected appeared. The people who would eventually be charged did not look like movie villains. They were not hiding on a remote island. Their lives appeared surprisingly ordinary. That contrast made the case more surprising. How could people with ordinary public lives become linked to one of the biggest cryptocurrency cases in the history? Answer would take investigators years to assemble. Unlike television crime dramas, real investigations are rarely solved overnight. Instead, they advance one verified fact at a time. Piece by piece, the picture becomes clearer. Financial records, digital accounts, public information, blockchain analysis. Every clue alone meant little. Together, they told a story, but investigators still had one enormous problem. Knowing where money moved isn't the same as providing who controlled it. While investigators continued their work, Bitcoin kept increasing in value. The stolen cryptocurrency became worth more and more. What had once been a theft measured in tens of millions became worth billions. As Bitcoin's market price rose, every price increase raised the stakes. The longer the mystery lasted, the more extraordinary it became. Then, after years of investigation, detective found another piece of the puzzle. It was not dramatic, no higher speed chase, no secret bunkers. Just another clue that fits with everything else. One clue become two, two become 10, 10 become a pattern. For the first time, investigators believed they were getting close. But they still needed enough evidence to support charges in court. The mystery that has lasted for years was approaching its final chapter. Investigators believed they knew who was involved. Now they needed to prove it.
CNBC reports a New York man has admitted to being behind the 2016 hack of Bitfinex. Ilya Lichtenstein pleaded guilty this morning to a conspiracy to launder stolen Bitcoin that became worth nearly $5 billion. He was arrested alongside his wife, Heather Roselkan Morgan, last year.
Ilya Lichtenstein and Heather Roselkan Morgan will be formally arraigned in D.C. federal court tomorrow on money laundering charges connected to the 2016 Bitfinex hack of 120,000 Bitcoins. Back then, they were worth about $7 million. These days, worth about $4.5 billion, according to the U.S. Department of Justice. So what was it like to be at the front lines of Bitfinex?
For nearly 6 years, one of the biggest cryptocurrency mysteries remained unsolved. The blockchain never forgot, the investigators never stopped, and eventually, years of digital evidence lead to two people. In February 2022, United States authorities announced the arrest of two people, Ilya Lichtenstein and Heather Morgan. They were charged with conspiracy to launder cryptocurrency connected to 2016 Bitfinex hack. At the time of their arrest, they were not charged with carrying out the original hack itself. According to United States investigators, the case came together through years of blockchain analysis, financial records, and evidence recovered during the investigation. Rather than one dramatic clue, it was accumulation of many verified pieces of evidence that helped prospectors build their case. Authorities recovered access to a large amount of cryptocurrency connected to the case. As Bitcoin's value have risen dramatically since 2016, the recovered assets were worth billions of dollars at the time of the announcement. The legal process continued after the arrest. In 2023, Ilya Lichtenstein placed guilty to charges related to money laundering and acknowledged his involvement in Bitfinex hack. Heather Morgan also placed guilty to conspiracy to commit money laundering. This case changed how many people think about cryptocurrency. Bitcoin transactions are not attached to names by default, but they are permanently recorded. That permanent record becomes a crucial source of evidence. Years it looked like the money had vanished. In the digital world, the trail remained. One of the largest cryptocurrency cases in the history become a reminder that time can change the value of stolen assets, and that long investigations can eventually bring hidden evidence into the open based on publicly available court documents and official announcements.